Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight, we have a very special guest joining us. And I'll just say first and foremost, as you can see, I'm in a different location tonight just because of my Wi-Fi. And we wanted to make sure that we did this interview perfectly without the Wi-Fi glitching out like it has been. So if anybody comments different background, that is why. Tonight, we have Gary Howard. So Gary is the host of Truck Stop Murders and True Crime Podcast. That podcast started in January 2020 and currently has over 125 episodes. It has a mix of cases, some that are very well known and some maybe you might not be that familiar with. But either way, let's have Gary on and we will dive more into who he is as well as his podcast, Truck Stop Murders and True Crime. So welcome to Danny After Dark, Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for coming on Danny After Dark. I'm really excited to have you on.
I am excited to be here, and I hear my cat already meowing. I told you he'll probably be an issue.
Gary, cats are never an issue with me.
Okay. Just one thing, he was quiet, but now I hear him back there meowing.
So I got just a second ago the privilege of seeing two of your cat babies who were absolutely gorgeous. So I was going to wait till the end, but since you brought it up, you are a cat guy. Tell me, how many cats do you have?
Yeah. No, I thought he was going to be quiet, but he just started meowing as soon as you offered me on stage, I guess you could say.
The cat wanted to steal the show. How many cats do you have, Gary?
In my truck, I have 2, but altogether, I have 11.
That's almost double of me. That ain't right. That ain't
I'm
right.
Sorry. I'll get rid of them all.
Drop them off at my house.
Find a new home, Cat.
So we were just briefly talking backstage. And so not only do you have your cats, but you're also big into helping out the community cats in your area, correct?
Yes. Our neighborhood has a lot of feral cats, and necessarily not myself, but my wife does. She takes care of them all. She drives around the neighborhood and feeds all the cats in different locations. And, of course, they all find our house, and then they just stick around. She feeds them as well. And then once we do befriend them, because they're all feral at first, we'll go ahead and bring them to the vet. We'll fix them or anything like that because we're trying to get the population down. So therefore, I mean, all of a sudden you get out of control and people getting pissed off, and you know how people are.
Now, TNR is so trap, neuter, return is amazing work. So thank you, and thank your wife for that.
I will.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to your wife for sure. So hopefully the audience will get to see your cats in the background like I got to see. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So
right there. That's just my top bunk. They're not there now, but you would see them right there. So
yeah, that's where one of them was with. Yeah. So I first want to say, Gary, so we met at the True Crime Podcast Festival that just happened about 2 weeks ago. And I want to say you were one of the first podcasters, the other content creators that came up to me. Me and Travis from the Another Nobody podcast, we were there early setting up, and you were one of the other first ones there. And you came over and you were so kind to introduce yourself to us.
Of course.
And then also, more importantly, I didn't say this to you yet, but I'll tell you now, and also for the listeners. During the one of the mixers that we had one of the nights, I went up to you and I was just like, I don't know about your podcast. Please tell me a bit about it. And you were so generous with your time to let me know about it. And I thought we had an amazing conversation about that. And I told you then that I definitely wanted to have you, come on my show. So I'm really glad that you're on tonight. So
I could. I mean, I'm a truck driver. I spend 24 hours by myself. So it's not like unless I'm driving, I ain't got nothing better to do. We just not saying nothing less to you. I was excited when you told me you have on my show, and now that I'm actually on your show, I'm even more excited. Just say I've had the last 3 podcast festivals. I've had people say, "Okay, have me on your show," and they just go. So for you to actually be here, excited.
Well,
excited about your show. I watch a lot of your content. since then because I haven't heard of you until then. And the reason why I did support you because your banner was amazing, I have to say. And of course, the True Crime Podcast Festival made sure that you're noticed since they had you twice as registered podcast.
I know. I didn't know. You pointed that out. I had no clue they put my, you know what? I ain't mad at it.
And hey, VIP needs to be recognized. That's all I'm saying.
So,
just in case you missed it the first round, you saw it the second round.
Love it. I love that mentality. So you mentioned that you're a truck driver. So yeah,
Yes.
Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself and truck driving. How long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been driving a semi-truck commercial for the last 10 years. I started back in 2015 when I got out of the Army. But while I was in the Army, I was also a truck driver. I was an 88 Mike. So I kind of transitioned from truck driving in the Army to commercial driving. So I joined the Army in 2006 as a truck driver with the 82nd Airborne Division. Got out in 2015, and since then I've been driving commercial. Now I work with Prime Inc. right now. I lease a truck to them, but it's like my fifth company I work for. And I could probably say I'm like 1.5 million miles safe driving. Never been in no wrecks.
That is incredible.
About that.
That is awesome.
I think I haven't made up my mind yet. I think my lease is up in December, beginning of December. I think I might be a regular person after that. Just give up the keys and be done with it. I mean, 10 years driving a truck is quite a long time. Just try to get something stable at home. But I'm not saying it wasn't worth it. It's fun. I get traveled around the United States. I've been everywhere. Even my cats have been almost all 48 states, not Hawaii and Alaska. I think the cats have not been in 7 states, but I get paid to travel. I got thousands of pictures, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. And we got to see your truck at CrimeCon. You were just like, yeah, it's right out back.
Yeah, I was in the same way. Well, last year in Denver, there was the hurricane that hit my house. Well, we were going to fly to Denver, but the hurricane hit Houston. That's where I live at. So we ended up driving there. But the year before that in Austin, we had to we just went ahead, since Livingston's right there, 3 hours, we just drove our truck. And more likely, I'll probably have my truck in Los Angeles too.
Oh, wow.
Unless she changes her mind or location. That's what lady says it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what we're talking about the True Crime Podcast Festival. So Lainey, I heard her say possibly LA, San Diego, Washington State, or Oregon.
Right.
So.
At the last meeting, there's on Sunday, I didn't see you there, but at the last day, she said it was going to be for sure Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in the creator, like where all of our booths were.
Yeah,
that on Sunday. Yeah, a bunch of us were in there. So yes,
yeah,
I did miss that.
It was like a Q&A. After hours, everybody was asked questions about what got you into podcasting, what was the best part of the podcast, just different things like that. And that's what she said. Next year it'll be in LA.
Good to know. Good to know. My friend in the chat, Mr. Beckham, will be very excited about that. So y'all, if you have any questions for Gary as we're going on, let us know. I do see one in here from Russell. Russell asks, Gary, how many cats do you travel with?
I saw that. I have 2 cats I travel with, Andre and Winston. And if you want to know more about them, go to TikTok and look Trucker Cats. I log all their everything on Trucker Cats on TikTok.
Trucker Cats. That's amazing. Okay, if Trucker Cats does not go viral tonight into tomorrow, then there's just something wrong with the world, because that's
it means I gotta try harder.
So besides you doing truck driving, tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you're comfortable sharing, just so we get to know a little bit about you.
I'm like I told you earlier, I was in the prior military. In 2006, I actually joined the Army old. There was just no work in Houston, so somebody told me that they moved up the age of 42 in the Army. So I was 35. I was like, well, let's try this. Why not? So I joined up, I signed up, got in the Army. It was 3 weeks later, I was getting blown up by IEDs in Iraq, which is crazy. But like I said, I was a truck driver there, so we worked at sup- uh, a support company. So that's what we did. And then spent 2 deployments to Iraq, 1 deployment to Egypt. Spent most of it in the 82nd Airborne Division. So yeah, I jumped out of airplanes. And then after that, I got injured by doing that at one of the training exercises and ended up in Fort Hood, that's where I went to Egypt now. After that, I think I'm pretty much caught up. After that, I was going out, getting out, get my D214, where there's a people there were troops of transportation, where you can use a GI Bill to get into truck driving. I was like, well, shit, I'm already doing that. Might as well just transition right into that. Where I started working for Rail, then Mesilla Valley, SRT, Prima Express, and now I'm with Prime. Or other ones, I was a company driver, but with this company, I'm actually a lease operator. So I lease a truck to a company. I'm like an owner operator. We had to build an LLC. So my company's name is Jackalope Transportation, which
Gotcha.
which my wife Desiree decided because she's a big thing in jackalopes for some reason.
So we don't have a question here, but a comment. Hi, Danny. What a lovely, kind man Gary is.
Well, thank you. That's Karen.
Yes,
Karen
that is
Diamond.
Karen is in Australia, by the way.
Awesome. Awesome.
Karen is awesome. I did see another comment
Well,
about.
let people know if I turn my head this way because I have my computer, because I'm doing this on my phone, so I have my computer here, so I can look at the comments.
Yeah, and don't worry about that too. I'll keep everybody in line.
Okay.
So Russell asks, and I was going to ask this at the end, but Russell, that's fine. We can ask now. Gary, do you have any other social media besides TikTok?
I do. I have TikTok, that's Trucker Cats, but I also do sceneries and cemeteries on TikTok too as well. I just record places where I go to. Different. I have a fascination with cemeteries. Since I like walking through them, it's just peaceful to me. And I do another podcast called Missing Miles, where my truck stop podcast is more of around the truck stops, around solved cases, where Missing Miles is, well, I was inspired by the True Crime Podcast Fest because the see about it, what's it all about? That's more unsolved and missing people. So that's that. And I do have another podcast a YouTube channel, matter of fact, that I haven't started yet. It's called, There's Terrible. I'll give 0 if I can, where I talk about my customers where I go to. Now, I haven't started that yet, but I want to, because some of the reviews on Truck Stop Murder, there's some of the reviews is just insane. As a matter of fact, that's where I got the There Is Terrible. I was at a Walmart DC, and somebody said, whole request, the whole was just There Is Terrible review.
So I didn't realize you did so many different types of social media and podcasts. But to jump back to podcasts, what gave you the inspiration to start a podcast in the first place?
I know you're going to answer that question. My cat, Andre's the big meowing. Well, hopefully you'll lose listeners on this one. But when I first met my wife in 2000, she asked, I met her, she's in Humble, Texas, and she asked me, do I want to meet her uncle? And this might sound like a long story, but I'll get to it. I was like, yeah, sure. I thought there's a bar next to her, maybe go to the bar or stuff like that, or walk down the street. So she walks in the corner, grabs a little metal box, and she goes, that's my uncle right there. He just got executed by Texas last year. I'm like, what did I get into? It was her uncle's Dennis Douthit. So back in 1990, to make it short, him and his son met up with his son's girlfriend in Woodlands, Texas, at a bowling alley. Brought them to a bayou that they have out there. They have these bayous in Texas, Houston, where they're like flood control. Where her uncle tried to molest a 9-year-old. One was 9-year-old, one was 16. So he tried to molest a 9-year-old while his son was hanging out with the 16-year-old in the back. And then he came out and said, "You got to kill her." And he was very abusive to him. So that kind of got me started in the true crime. Well, they executed him. They ended up giving his son 40 years in prison. So fast forward to 2005, my wife woke me up one day. She's like, "Oh my God, my cousin Rhonda's on Snap." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, my cousin Rhonda Glover's on Snap." So yep, fatal blue. She hooked up with a millionaire tycoon in Texas.
I saw that episode.
Yeah, that's my cousin Rhonda. Well, by marriage. So kind of got me into it. So if you know the episode, you know about her killing her husband with a 9mm, and she did so dumb. And that whole time, well, I mean, she went to Red's shooting range right before she did that, and asked them, "How can I protect myself in this scenario?" And that scenario was the same way she killed her ex-husband. So that kind of got me into true crime, and then I was like, "Man, I better run from this woman. She murders all up here from me." And I realized that, well, my brother did kill his wife with a baseball bat. You know, my stepbrother, he just all drugs and jealous, and went to her house and beat her. So I guess that kind of got me into it. Then after that, the idea is, why do people do what they do? I mean, I don't believe people are born monsters. I know a lot of people would disagree with me, like Ted Bundy, you know, all these other, they're born monsters, but I don't believe that. Who was I thinking of? John Wayne Gacy. I don't.
Mm.
I don't believe that they were born. Something might had to happen from the time they were born. I mean, babies are not just born with knives in their hands, coming out stabbing. So that kind of got me interested in the whole truck stop true crime thing. And plus, being a truck driver, you know, we're we're tag serial killers. You know, we could be right now. I'm in Dixon, Tennessee. Tomorrow I'll be in Columbus, so I could actually kill somebody here, and before they even find the body or anything like that, I could be in Columbus, Ohio, and after they got rid of the regular suspects, I could be in Chicago. That just that's one of the things that got me interested in it.
Yeah. So I will say I'm going to take me off camera for.
Where did you go? I guess I'll read the notes right now. Yeah.
Carrier, so cute. So yeah, we talked about that very briefly at the convention when we were speaking, Gary, about like kind of your family's ties to true crime as well as your wife's. And that's you don't see that very often where somebody kind of has that many connections to it. So that's very interesting how you kind of, because some people might want to kind of put that like, let's not speak about it. It's just, part of our family. We don't talk about, where you're very more so, if embracing is the wrong word, I apologize, but more so embracing the like, why are people doing this to begin with? Like, and then you mentioned the whole nature nurture kind of concept.
Yeah, I saw that question. I'm not the smartest one, the sharpest knife in the kitchen. I might be a spoon, some people say, but that was kind of, I saw that nurture and nature. I'm not quite understanding that.
Yeah, so nature nurture, that's a big kind of like psychology 101 kind of concept. Is, do you believe that somebody, and you actually talked about it, somebody is born nature, so somebody is born inherently bad or evil, or nurture, where somebody is shaped, or the environment creates that evilness in them.
I guess I believe
or
more
could it be a combination, or the right combination of both?
I think I believe in nurture, because I believe environment will make the person. Like, or if you're busy, both your parents are working, they're not going to take care of the kid. Who's going to take care of the kid? Everybody else is going to take, and they might not have good intentions. And and then and also it could be mental aspects of it too, because if somebody has some mental diseases, it could be that too. So it's not the environment; it's themselves, but I don't know if that's a born. I'm not for sure how that works.
No, and to be honest, there is no right or wrong answer. You could find 20 different well-known, well-studied psychologists who all some will think this way, some will think that way. There's no one answer, and I think that's what makes
Right.
it so complex and fascinating, because it would be easy to kind of put these, offenders into a one fits all category, but that's not really.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of people, because you said it's not a set standard, but a lot of people want to believe this is the standard. And I think that's the problem with, we will never resolve it until everybody gets on the same page. But then that brings it back to what I just said. So it's back to the circle saying it's either this way or no way. So yeah, it's a difficult, to try to transpire, difficult thing to fix.
Yeah. And what you touched upon just a few moments ago in regards to what you do for a career, and I know me and you have talked about this, about maybe a month or two ago, we did for the Danny After Dark book club. One of the books that we read and reviewed was the Long Haul Trucker book by Frank Figliozzi. And I know we each have our own opinions on that. And I know me and you spoke a lot at the convention when the two of us spoke. But I think, my audience kind of coming off of that book review and kind of hearing, about the trucker lifestyle, if you will. And it kind of goes to a little bit what you were explaining, where we can kind of take a step back and see, wow, it could be an easier way for an kind of at-risk population where kind of police or society might not notice certain people go missing, where, like you just said, you're in one state here and then tomorrow you're in a totally different one. So it could be so much harder for law enforcement to realize that somebody's even missing in the first place, or that a crime has been committed.
And then they usually focus on family members. If you ever noticed that, first thing they do is they focus on husband first, or wife,
or wives,
spouse, or wife. They focus on their spouse first, and then after that, they're like, well, who does this person know? And start looking at people they know, and then finally, after they did all that, then they look at outside sources, because it's usually somebody they know. So, like I said, by the time that they clear all that, truck drivers already gone, and that's why some of these truck drivers get away for so long.
Yeah.
And nachos or potato salad for dinner tonight.
No, sometimes people here have their own conversation, so don't mind them.
I just caught that because I was like, nachos or potato salad. I want some nachos, actually.
So kind of going back to your podcast. So when you decided to start your podcast, that was was I correct in my research, 2020?
Yes, that's when I started it.
Pandemic. When you decided to start your podcast, what was your kind of initial thoughts on what you wanted to do, and how has that either stayed the same or evolved over time?
It stayed the same pretty much. There's a couple episodes that changed here and there, but when I first started, I listened to a podcast called Small Town Murder, and I became real friends with James and Jimmy there. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, this is something I could do. And they cover like small towns. I was thinking, well, I'm a truck driver. Like right now, I'm in the pilot trucks. What should I say where I'm at? I mean,
I wouldn't, just because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But I'm at a truck stop right now, and this is like my little town. Because, small towns has, very little people, where that's the thing. The trucks are here. So I was like, well, you know what? I could talk about that. I could talk, and some of the reviews are just crazy about these trucks. Some of these entire stuff. Like I told you at the podcast festival, I talk about the truck stop because they've become more travel centers now. So there's not just truck drivers here, it's everybody. I thought, well, maybe if I do a podcast talking about that and talking about what's there to eat here and what the drivers think about it. And like I said, there's gold in those strands. The podcast that, and that's just the funny part about it. Then I talk about a murder that happened nearby it. So I was like, well, it's the same thing as small town murder. They're talking about the town, but they're also talking about murder that happened in and around it. Now, I think I've talked about, my wife gets on me all the time, tell me I should more focus on truck drivers, but there's just so much. I won't get to truck drivers. I think I've done one truck driver so far. He was a serial killer through Pennsylvania and Ohio, and it took him a while before he got caught. And I'm hoping, since we're on that subject, I'm hoping to have you on my podcast. I have a truck stop killer in Tennessee that I like to talk about. He worked for Swift. He was a McStabby, and it happened at a truck stop. So think about it.
Interesting. I am certainly intrigued.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Russell asks a good question. Gary, what is your favorite truck stop?
My favorite, oh, there's so many, and usually the ones that have bars in it. But I would say the one that I love going to is in Hobart, Ohio, called Truck World. Matter of fact, I think did you get one of my cards from my Facebook group, right?
I did.
If you look at my face on it and you see Truck World, that's where I went to, because it's a nice restaurant there. The bar, there's like an Irish pub there that's really nice. There's a bunch of restaurants, so probably Hubbard, and they always have parking there. Now there's other truck stops that I do like going to, but that is my to go truck stop that I do enjoy.
Awesome. So Mr. Beckham asks this question, and I 100% am behind him on this. Gary, come on. Are you a fan of Buc-ee's?
No,
What?
I don't. They don't like us. They don't like our company. They have a big parking lot. Even I know a lot of people say that, well, they don't have the parking for it. But you know where I just bought cat litter at? A Walmart. And Walmart don't have parking either.
Oh no, this
And
breaks my heart.
I actually even read a review, and that makes sense why they don't, because not a lot of our truck drivers are clean. A lot of them like throw our piss bottles out, our shit bags, and everything, and trash up the parking lot. So that's what they said. They don't want us nasty truck drivers there. I don't
That's
know.
a shame.
So
That's
no,
a shame.
I don't.
Beckham follows up with, yeah, I have a friend that's a trucker and he says he hates Buc-ee's. Oh,
Well,
interesting.
I don't hate them. I just don't. I don't support them.
Okay,
So I
that's
say,
a fair word. I
yeah.
have family in Texas, and when I've gone to visit, the first time I went, when I was older, and they were like, "Oh, we have to go to Buc-ee's. It's a gas station." I'm like, seriously? And I fell in love. The second I went to Buc-ee's, I fell in love. So that is
Well,
sad that they don't. Yeah,
if
that is
you're
sad.
not, if you're not, I mean, it's kind of like a Walmart superstore for traveling. I would say, because Walmart superstores, they have everything.
Yeah.
So it's one of the places where they draw you in on traveling. They have all the foods, of course, all the novelty items and stuff like that. So, and they're not just Texas no more. Them like Whataburger, them things are like plugging everywhere. You can see. I mean, the first time I saw a Whataburger somewhere else besides Texas was in Phoenix. I'm like, what the fuck?
So
I,
okay, this is an
I
interesting.
promised myself I wouldn't cuss.
Oh, you can swear here. It's all good. It's all good. Interesting question, Russell. Gary, have you seen, since you commented on it, the cleanliness issue get worse over the years, or has it been about the same since you started?
It's about the same. They have a lot of your truck drive stops that stay on top of it, but then you have so many small truck stops that they've been nasty since day one. What happens is a lot, especially like they have like wooded area ones where loads get rejected, and what they do instead of bringing it to the garbage or a landfill or something like that, they'll just back up into the back parking spot, the dark areas, and just throw all the stuff overboard. Like I saw in Pennsylvania, I saw a load of blueberries that someone just threw out, tossed out and left. Then I saw a box of chocolate. I mean, I just see a lot of stuff where what they'll do is you can bring it to landfills, but instead of doing that, they'll just go to truck stops. And then you hush. But then you do have a lot of trying to say this with being politically correct. A lot of forwarder truck drivers that are here, and what they're used to in their country is not, so they're used to throwing the trash out, because being in Iraq, that place is, the whole country's a landfill. So that's what they're used to. So when they're here, they'll just throw their trash out the window and not care. So it's been about the same since I've started. It's just all these gross, and that's why a lot of these places will actually charge you to park.
Oh,
Anywhere from 15, because they got to pay somebody to clean up the crap.
interesting. And that's a shame that it just like, I mean, like with any profession, like there's just when a few bad people. They just spoil it for everybody, and that's a shame. That's a shame.
That's what it is.
So jumping back a second to your podcast, in regards to some of the cases that you've discussed on your channel, when I was kind of going through, like I said, in the intro for you, there was some very well-known cases that you've covered, and then some that maybe not as well known. How do you decide what cases that you're going to cover on your podcast?
Well, I do try to stay. Of course, I find cases I find interesting. But what I'll do, I have some websites I go to. There's one guy on Reddit made a beautiful map of the United States with different locations. So I try to find stuff where I'm at. Like, since I'm somewhere in Tennessee right now, and what I would do is I'll look for a case around me, and then I will do that. So I know when I first started my podcast, I thought what I would do is I would just go in a row. Like, if I was here, I start from point A to point B, C, D, and E, and I'll try and go in order. But after that, I was getting the cases where, there's nothing near. I can't find nothing here. So, like, one time I did the Valeska axe murder. I didn't want to do it because it was so well known. But that area, the truck stop I was parked in Iowa, I couldn't find nothing. So that's how I do it. I just try to find cases that happen nearby me. Like when I was parked at there's a case in Massachusetts that I want to cover, and I never got to, but it was a guy who thought that he had to travel back in time. And nobody's really covered it. That's another thing. I try to do cases that nobody covers as well, but also around me, because in Massachusetts, this guy thought he had no soul. So he had to some things had to happen. So he helped them travel back in time and kill these Nazis. And once he killed these Nazis and Hitler, he was able to, I love that kitty.
All right, Selena wants to say hi.
And those are my favorites. Is that Black Cat, right?
No, she's dark. She's gray. The lighting isn't picking it up, but she has kind of like a blue undertone almost. But yeah, she's gray. She's a sweetheart, an absolute sweetheart.
She looks like, yes, I am here. Appreciate her eyes. Oh, my cat's wandering. I got 2 orange cats.
So, okay. So I have not heard of the Massachusetts one that you're talking about. And I definitely want to know more, because this is where I'm from.
It's not too far from your location at all. Well, from the podcast festival. I don't know where you're at. But yeah, it's not too far. I'm not going to look it up. But yeah, it was like a bordering town by the ocean. I want to say it was. I can't think. It was some. Now I want to look it up.
Yeah. So my friend here, the Liz. So Liz is one of my best friends, and she actually came to the podcast festival we were at. She came on the Saturday. So she wants to hear more about this case too. So you will. Yeah, she's like, I'm going to look it up. So you'll have to let me know the name, because, yeah, me and Liz definitely want to know more.
Okay. And I can look it up real quick right now.
Sure. And if you hear some scratching off camera, Selena has I'll just show it. She got a brand new catnip toy. So she's going crazy for it on the side. So if you hear anything scratching, that's her going crazy over it. So. Yeah, because that's an interesting one.
I do love your banner, by the way. It's very catchy.
Thank you. Yeah, Gary, while you're looking that up, so the True Crime Podcast Festival was my first time having a booth. So I was so nervous. I mean, Liz will attest in the chat. I was for months so nervous going into this. Like, I think I was like overly stressing, that by the time it came, I was like, why was I stressing this much? This was so much fun.
Right. You seem like you're just natural, like it was a normal thing for you.
Oh my God. Thank you. I assure you, on the inside, I was freaking out. I mean, Travis was next to me from the Another Nobody podcast. He was setting up his booth when I was setting up mine. And like, I would like set it up and then move things slightly an inch and be like, nope, I gotta move it back a little bit. Like, oh my God, I was so crazy with that dang table, but it turned out right.
They had a setup, didn't they? That was next to you?
Yeah, Travis was right next to me. Yeah, the Another Nobody podcast. Yeah, and then next to then my other side was Generation Y. So I was with some good people.
Yeah, well, Generation Y, that's the OG podcast. And I don't know why this is not coming up.
No worries. Message me, Gary. Message me when you and I will
No,
let people know.
I got it right here. I guess I had not coming up. Well,
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Just let me
okay.
know and I'll leave a comment on this video so that people, if anybody else was like, gee, I want to know what that case was, then we'll share it for sure. I know I want to know and Liz wants to know for sure. Um so in regards to the different cases that you've covered over the 5 years you've been doing this, what are some of the okay, it's a two-part question. What are some of the more well-known cases that you've covered that you're like, yeah, if you're new to my podcast, check these episodes out. And then on the other side, what are some maybe not so well-known cases that you're like, you know what? People should check out my podcast because everybody should know about this case.
I'm back.
Okay, you're frozen.
Bring me.
You are frozen, Gary. Not sure what happened. No, I see you. So it's completely dark. I have you on two different things. So I would say, Gary, exit out and possibly come back in because I have you on two different screens right now and I don't know why. Don't know why it's not working. Yeah, so Gary, try exiting out and coming back in. Always technical. I was afraid I was going to have the technical difficulties tonight. So what is this? Frozen Gary looks intense. I can hear you, but you're not visible on screen, Gary.
Okay. Am.
There we go. There we go. Perfect.
I don't know what I was. I don't know what I was thinking of, but I was on my phone and I tried to look up Infamous America. There's another app that I use, and I didn't even think that once I did that on my phone, I would leave. I would leave you.
Oh, yeah. No worries. No worries. So yeah, I'm not sure if it cut off when I was asking. So if somebody is new to your podcast, what out of the episodes that you've covered so far, I would say kind of multi-part question. What are the more well-known cases that you've covered that people should check out? And then maybe what are one or two of the not so well-known cases that you've covered that you're like, people really need to listen to this because people need to know about this case?
Well, of course, the well-known case I did of Valeska X murder was a pretty popular one. And just recently, I covered a case that was in Nashville where this one guy thought he was being stalked by Taylor Swift, and he walked into a Waffle House just with butt naked with a robe on and went and shot. And there was a hero that stopped him. I mean, he killed 3 people, but yeah, he was insane. He thought Taylor Swift was. There's videos of him on YouTube. He thought Taylor Swift had broken into his house and used his bathroom. Taylor Swift's a man. And he says, I don't care if you're a man, just, you have to check it out. It's a Waffle House Murders.
Okay.
And then, goodness, I have so many, I can't think.
I know, put you on the spot here.
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, they're all pretty interesting to me. Let me see, there's that one. Then there's a truck driver killer. I can't think of their name right now. So here is.
Oh, let me take.
This is Winston. Okay.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
What he does is he will, if I'm not giving him attention, he'll walk behind me and he's standing on my door right now, and then he'll just headbutt me. See, and just look around and go.
Winston's trying to be like, wait a minute, I'm the real star of the show here.
What's another? I'm trying to remember cases now. There's another case that was in L.A. where this woman hooked up with a sugar daddy and ended up killing him when he decided to cut her off.
Mm.
That was one of my first ones. And there was another one that was in Denver, and I can't think the name of it, where she thought she worked for the FBI and she had to take out terrorists. That was in Denver. But of course, I don't know if anybody heard of the what's that guy's name? He had worked the Crab Boy in Florida. You ever heard about that?
No, what's that about?
In Florida, is this guy back in like the 20s and 30s. He's like, well, he traveled with freak shows, but he had these hands that look like crab legs, claws, and that's how he made his money. He just one day, I mean, he was a big drunk and killed I think his wife. I guess as I move on to cases, I forget them. Then I go to the next one and then next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to do.
I have to say, Gary, what you just said was so spot on, because it wasn't until I started, doing, Danny After Dark, where, I'd be listening to other, content creators and other podcasters, and they'd cover these episodes, and then someone would ask them about it, maybe a month or a year later, and they're, they couldn't remember some of the details. I'm like thinking, how could you not remember it? You spent all this time how could you not? But I get it, because once I'm done with the research, it's like on to the, I can barely remember stuff from last week, let alone a case I covered like a year and a half ago.
Especially if you want to do it thoroughly, you just fill up your mind with all the information, because you don't want to miss nothing out. By doing that, I guess the best way you could say it is you can't take a picture of information and pour it in a shot glass and hope to keep it all. A lot of it's going to overflow, So it's just get one case, and then you study that to the max that you can. Then you move on to the next one, and a lot of that it's just hard.
Yeah, there was the funny story. There was one, somebody left a comment. Gosh, maybe 2 years into when I was doing this, and they're like, "Hey, I'd really love if you would cover this case." I'm like, "Absolutely, let me add it to the Google Doc." And I was like, no, that's not on there. That's surprising. Turns out I covered it the year before, and I totally forgot that I did. It was just, I was like, turns out I did cover it. So, all right, we got a couple of comments for you, Gary. Well, actually, they're not for you. They're for the star of the show, Gary. Hi, Gary. What a lovely looking cat Winston is. Liz, Liz is. Everybody's loving Winston right now. So,
if they want to see more of Winston, like I said, Trucker Cats on TikTok.
I will be following that account tonight, I assure you, and everybody in this chat better as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to cases that you've covered, what cases you've not covered, are there any that are, how do I word this? Any that
I know where you're going with this. I refuse to do any cases where parents kill their kids.
That was what I was going to ask.
Well, let me start wrong, because I did do a case where a parent did kill their kids where it involves torture.
Oh.
Because I did do a case. It was the man who killed Halloween, and I'm about to say Dennis O'Leary, but the guy in Houston who fed his kid a pixie stick.
Yeah.
I did do that, but there was no long-term torture. I can't. You have your child that depends on you, loves you, and you're supposed to nurture, and then you just torture them. And they in their mind they can't understand why they're doing it. Did they do something wrong? Well, what's going on? Why is obviously? And it's just I can't accept that. And plus, have a few kids myself. I won't do that.
Yeah. You answered that in regards to like what cases that it's like, oh, I can't. And I found with my audience as well that even kind of talking about what's going on in the news, it's it's that aspect of children that it's just too much for so many people, understandably, because they're, the most vulnerable. So that's good to know that, if people are looking for that type of content, your podcast and in my channel aren't necessarily that place.
First of all, if they're looking for a podcast about children being tortured, I think they gotta get evaluated or something, get checked out, because that ain't right.
Yeah, okay, I did not word that right, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I do know. But you never know. People are like that these days. People are just, I guess you could say, kind of like Sodom and Gomorrah in a way.
Yeah, and there are true crime podcasts that cover very certain you could find anything out there, and some kind of gravitate more towards one kind of type of true crime than others. But yeah, we're on the same line, Gary, where it's like, yeah, you're not necessarily gonna find that with us.
And I'm not.
Yeah, Wolf is in the. Yeah, Wolf says, yeah, the cases with kids bother me. Yeah, that seems to be. Yeah. In regards to cases that you're working on to release soon, are there any kind of hints you can give us on any upcoming cases that people might be able to find on your podcast soon?
I already gave the one about the Nazi guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a truck driver I talked to you about backstage, I guess you could call it. That it was actually a truck driver. Of course, if there's a truck driver, I'm going to cover it. And then there's in Baton Rouge, I did one. I can't think of his name right now. But there's a certain time where there's a bunch of serial killers in Baton Rouge. I covered one already. It was like my second or third case I covered. I'm going to try to cover all of them. But you know what? I don't know. I mean, I find them as I find them. That's all I got to say.
Fair enough.
My family members. My wife does not want me to do her uncle. And I'll tell you later why. She told me don't say it. Reason why. But my cousin Rhonda. I'd like to cover that one day. Then there's a case in Georgia about this one guy who got into a bus and kidnapped a kid and had an underground bunker that I would like to talk about.
That's the is that the Chowchilla one?
Sounds familiar. This happened like in southern Alabama.
Okay, no, I'm thinking of a different one then.
Well, this guy, he got on the bus and he ended up killing him because he was, give me a kid. And the bus driver's like, no, I'm not going to give no kid up. So he ended up killing him, grabbing the kid, and going into a bunker. They had a big standoff for a while. They ended up killing him, which I'm not going to say why, but I thought, didn't you just put that kid in danger?
Right. And I will say, for when I was kind of going through your content, just so I had an idea of kind of the type of episodes that you do, I will say for everybody, Gary's episodes are on the, it depends on the ones that you cover, but some are over an hour, but a lot of them are under 45 minutes. So they're really great in regards to like just popping on and like listening, on a lunch break or while you're, I listen to podcasts while I drive. So it's easy for me to complete a full episode of yours when I'm trying to get to one place and then listen to so I can get through a lot of them quickly, which I really appreciate. So,
because my wife told me that a lot of people, they like to listen to podcasts because they don't sit around and, maybe while they're cleaning their house or something, they might listen to podcasts. A lot of people, they have like an hour transit to work and they listen during that time. And then they live their life and then come back. So I try to keep it within that. And not to mention, a lot of people, if you talk too much, they tend to drift off other places. Too much. I mean, it's good to have a lot of detail if the detail's there. But a lot of times, sometimes too much detail is just way too much. Then you get off babbling about things that's not even relevant to the case.
Yeah. But I found that awesome with yours. Like I said, I could get from one place to the other and I'm like, I just crushed 2 episodes. That's awesome.
If like that, there's a podcast I listen to called Morning Cup of Murder. Those episodes are 10 minutes.
Interesting.
Every day. She has thousands of, but every day she puts out a new episode. That's why it's called Morning Cup of Murder. So if you just want to hear a short, She covers everything.
Good to know. Good to know. K-Dog asks a specific question. Gary, did you cover the DC snipers? Truckers help police capture them.
No, I have not yet, but that is definitely an interesting case. I've been wanting to do, and his motive. I heard his motive was he did all that just to kill his ex-spouse. Is that true?
That's
Or
part.
is that just what his spouse thinks? I remember when that was happening. I remember when I was I forgot where I was at, but somebody thought there's no way. They did key on that he was a military sniper. He said that guy's military. There's no way he's going to get caught. I'm so surprised he got caught because he had a genius idea how to do that.
It was, yeah. Oh God, I think was I in high school when that happened? I forget, but it was so. I remember that too, and it was very scary because like nobody was safe when that was.
Like the Phantom Menace, because he had it hid in the back of the car, so you wouldn't even see him until nobody ever saw him until he was shot because he was hiding in the trunk. So yeah.
Yeah, Wolf adds that they caught the DC sniper pretty close to where he was working, not too far. Yeah. That he thinks the trucker called it in. Yeah. Byron Dunbar Animation. Hi. Welcome. Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Yeah, a lot of truckers are. Yeah, a lot of truckers. There's a group called Truckers Against Trafficking also. So we're out there. We're watching.
My friend Liz, the one that came to the podcast convention, so she is a researcher like no other. So she found it. Liz says Michael McDermott in the Edgewater tech shooting in Wakefield.
Yeah, that's it. Because there's a website I use, or no app called Infamous America. I use that too because I look at my location, it has a bunch of stuff where I can find. They don't do true crime because also on my Patreon, I started doing like disaster things. Like my first Patreon episode that I did was about the Rhythm nightclub fire that happened in Natchez, Mississippi. So it's not, you could say it's a murder because the guy was so gritty. He locked up, it was a music hall. And he locked up all the doors, locked up windows because he didn't want nobody listening to music without paying their 50 cents. And then they had the Spanish moss and just one fire happened. And next thing you know, 200 feet, which is crazy because it's one, like the fourth or fifth, or, it's one up there in the top 10 fires, but it's not mentioned. And I believe why, because the color of their skin, that's why it's not mentioned. But yeah, 250 people died in that fire. That's what I did for Patreon. It's not a murder, but it's not, you see that on Infamous America, there's a lot of cases that are like that, like mine disasters. Of course, there's that big, right there in Massachusetts where you're at, that big molasses. Because I don't stay one time frame. I travel all over the place. I'm a time traveler. Yeah. So whatever is a good case, and like that would be something I do because that was insane right there in Boston. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Vaguely.
It happened way back in 1920s. It just had this big tank that just kept overflowing with molasses, and it just erupted. It was like a tidal wave of molasses.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my gosh,
There you go.
Just talked about that last week when Omar came on my channel from Boston Crime Tours. Oh my God, we just talked about that last week. See, Gary, this is the perfect example. I can barely remember last week, let alone like a case I covered a year and a half ago.
I understand.
Oh my goodness. Liz Ads said he used a portal at the building to go back to 1940 Berlin.
Yep, he did. He walked in there and he said he had these different notes, things like someone would call him, someone would say this, someone would say this. All of a sudden, he traveled back in time. And of course, in his mind, all these people that was running away from him were Nazis. And he had to find his way to Hitler and kill him because he had no soul. And this crazy fool had an elephant gun that he was going to bring with him, but he thought it was too big. So, but yeah. On YouTube, there's trial courts. There's actually an interview with him, and he seems like a very intelligent person. Not saying intelligent people don't kill people, but he was a submarine, worked in a nuclear submarine. He invented technology where I think some battery thing where rechargeable batteries. That's what he did. He created rechargeable batteries where it don't overheat. Where after a while, it'll stop. So he was a smart guy, but I don't know what happened. Nazis and I
Yeah.
don't think he did drugs.
And if only it were that simple to have those answers, Gary, then
Yep.
yeah, there wouldn't be as many crimes as there is. And
Yep.
uh so okay, Byron, I think who's not familiar with the case you guys are describing, saying, so why did he time travel then? Well, he was saying he was going to do
In
that
his mind. In his mind, he was
in
traveling
his
because he
mind.
said
Yeah.
and these different things. When all these things happened, he was transported in the time in his mind. So in his mind, he was back in 1942 Berlin. When in
Yeah.
actuality, he was going through that industry shooting people. Of course, they're out running for their lives. He think he's shooting Nazis. And at the court trial, if you YouTube his name, it'll come up as about an hour long court interview with him, and you could tell how mad the prosecutor's getting.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
They-
So you touched upon just a minute or so ago in regards to um, about how some of the, I forget your exact wording, but in you clearly see it in your research, and we see it here too, where based on the type of victim, maybe they're not getting, well, it's not even a maybe, but it's not covered as much. Some cases aren't covered as much as they should.
Right.
Depending on, it could be, income status, race, religion, or whatnot. But we see that all the time. In regards to, I'm actually very fascinated in regards to the more tied to the truck stop type of crimes that you see. Have you found that predominantly there is a certain demographic of victims that these types of crimes occur, or is it just an equal opportunity? Someone's at a rest stop and they can cross state
Well,
lines with the victim and no one's going to catch them for the most
well,
part.
of course, I've always, women are always because prosecute sex work stuff like that. People don't really pay attention to that, and that's where I can't. I've been trying to think of that guy, the famous truck stop killer, and that's what he did. He just picked up women that he knew were sex workers, and he knew that nobody would care about them. That's the same thing with Robert Pickton when he up there. He just sex workers, so
Yeah.
nobody's gonna pay. And there's either sex workers, a lot of them are runaways as well. So nobody, just women, basically, that no one's monitoring. Because if there's nobody monitoring them, how do you know they're missing? How do you know they're not there? You know, so I think that's about it. And about
Yeah.
popularity. Well, I think I think I'm about to stray off to a different subject altogether. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, that you're absolutely spot on with that. And maybe, gosh, was it last year? I have a friend that's over in West Coast Canada, where close to where Willie Picton's farm was, and yeah, and we covered that, and that's, yeah, absolutely very strategic in picking victims that, one, people aren't going to miss or not know they're missing, and by the time people realize they're missing, so much time has evolved that
And
it just makes it so much harder.
and if they do notice they're missing, they're like, oh, they're just a drug addict anyhow. So the police don't really, okay, we'll take the notes down and okay, let's just put that over there. We got more important things to do with this, this method. And so
Yeah.
then next thing you know, you have, is it, no, I can't remember that truck stop killer. You guys, Rhodes, I think that's his last name. Carl Ben Rhodes, Ben Rhodes. I think that's the truck
Liz, are you
driver's
in the
name.
chat? Liz,
Yeah, somebody
Liz
like him who travels across country, or you have like a Tommy Lynn. There's another case I want to cover. One that was
Robert Ben Rhodes.
yes, and another case you're talking about maybe hints of what I want to do in the future. I'm really going in deep in Tommy Lynn cells.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is. Gary, you have been warned. You have been
I
warned.
know
That is,
everything. The Gardine family. I've been to a location where that happened. Now I couldn't stop
really?
my truck because there's nowhere to pull over. It's right there in Ina, Illinois. It's right there by the penitentiary. Now, I decided to drive by there. I thought maybe I could do like a YouTube video of it, but there's nowhere to stop at.
Mm,
So
interesting.
I know everything. The Coast to Coast Killer book I've listened to on Audible. So I do know he was, yeah.
He was a horrible, horrible human being. Oh my goodness.
Basically, he said he got high off of evil. He said he only knew 2 words. He would never say 2 things. I think it's "I love you" or all he knew was hate. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And of course, a couple of graves I visited. I visited Henry Lee Lucas's grave. He was buried right there in Huntsville. I visited his grave,
Oh.
and also Kenneth McDuff. There's another case I went to. They're both buried there in Huntsville. Well, I was going sidetracked. You're talking about one thing about popularity and stuff like that, and the case. Well, I was thinking you weren't even talking about that, but with some of the cases that are, a lot of people look for more the well-known cases. I think that's one of the things that's hurt me, because if you go to my YouTube channel, you look at my most viewed video, it's a grave of Carl Faye Tucker.
Mm.
Where a lot of the other ones that nobody knows about is not getting too many. Which I was a good friend with their sister, matter of fact. I forgot to mention that.
How could you forget to mention that? That is fascinating.
Yeah, before I joined the army, well, I'm not going to tell you why I know her, but I hung out with her and her husband Mark a lot. She had passed away not too long ago. So, but yeah, I think I forgot to count like 15,000. By the way, I saw one of your videos of 45,000 views on the guy with the Richard Ramirez.
Oh yeah, that was author Nicholas Schreck. Yeah. Yeah, that's
I enjoyed
definitely the
listening to
most
that.
viewed video. Yeah. Yeah, that was an excellent. Yeah,
It was.
Nicholas Schreck is
Good
very
job.
generous to come on and talk about that. So let me see. So in regards to, so I just have a couple of questions left, but you guys in the chat who have been asking amazing questions.
I
If
see this
you
one question about a female truck driver. I knew a creepy female truck driver once. LB had to report her to the cops for her activities. I'd like to know more about that. That's
interesting.
one thing cool about truck driving. I think is awesome is before used to be these old dirty go guys and rough looking. Now that just everybody's a truck driver. You have female truck drivers. Everybody has the opportunity to drive a truck if they want, and it's a good business opportunity for them too as well. So it's not just like the old greasy old guy you ever see. You don't like the old truck driver and like the old movies like Convoy and from the 70s. It's not some
Mhm.
type of guy. It's just everybody's a truck driver.
Let's see. So K-Dog asked, did you listen to the Truckin' Bozo? Is that a podcast or
I
case?
don't know.
I don't know what that is, K-Dog. If you can elaborate.
No.
Yeah, you guys in the chat, if you have any other last minute questions we can get for Gary, by all means, please let me know. So friend of the show, Corey, who is not here in the chat tonight. So he had asked, and I mentioned I would ask you, Gary. He asked if you have been to the Loves in West Memphis, Arkansas. He said the boys' bodies were found in the woods right next to it.
I just fueled there.
Oh.
I was just there a few hours ago. Matter of fact, the first pump I went to didn't work. Then I go to another pump. Matter of fact, that Love's gets robbed all the time. Not too long ago, there's like a tree line right there where a bunch of people came and stole a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I just there not long ago with the Loves. Which there's another case I want to do. Talking about, I've been to the West Memphis case, West Memphis 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been to the location. I've been to Stevie Branch's grave and Michael Moore's grave. Now, I have not been to Christopher Breyer's yet because I've been in a semi-truck, and his is so hard to get to. And I've been to Stevie Branch's grave a lot. But I travel through a lot of places as a truck driver. I go through a lot. West Memphis is like one of them places I've been to thousands of times. But yeah, I was just at that Love today.
Oh, very interesting. Small world. Oh, K-Dog has elaborated. Thank you, K-Dog, because I didn't know what you were referring to. Dale Summers, radio overnight show out of Cincinnati.
So
So
I'll look that up though.
thank you, K-Dog. Good to know. Good to know. Wolf, this isn't necessarily a question, but more so a comment. You need to pay attention if you drive for a living. It doesn't seem easy at all to be. Would you describe it as easy work, Gary?
Well, I've been doing it 10 years, so I would say it's easy. And I find it easy because I enjoy doing it. I mean, that's with anything you do. If you enjoy doing it and you have confidence in your abilities, of course you find it kind of easy. I think a lot of people, they just get intimidated by the size of the truck because I have a 53-foot behind me trailer. But if you look in the mirrors, you can't really see that. But a lot of people get intimidated by that. So it makes it miserable. But I just enjoy what I'm doing, the confidence in my work. So it makes it easy. I'm not bragging on myself or nothing like that, but that's just my best answer.
No, and that in what you're saying, like I can hear the sincerity in your voice that you're not just saying words, like you're meaning what you're saying, that you enjoy what you do.
I
And that's
do.
incredible because not everybody enjoys what they do for a living. That's for sure.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'd rather be home all the time, being a regular Joe Schmo. But while I'm out here, I might as well make the most of it. There's no doing. You yelling. Let me get you, Andre. Come here, Andre. Here. There's the loud one. Say hi to Andre. Andre.
Cute. Oh my God, I love them. Absolutely love them.
That was Andre. Like I said, you can see more of Andre and Winston on Trucker Cats.
Trucker cats.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So again, last minute questions, y'all. Get them in the chat. Get them in the chat. Wolf adds, that's great. I think it's impressive. It's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So in regards to, you've given your social media handles where people can find you. Where can people find your podcast?
Just Google me. I'm on all platforms. I'm on iHeartRadio. I'm Castbox. Just Google. You should be able to find me pretty easily. I'm on YouTube as well. Now, just no videos. I'm trying to. I mean, being a truck driver, I work 11 hours a day, so it's kind of hard to make the videos. But you have the audio. Can you hear this cat meowing?
Yes, we can.
He is a very timid cat. I don't know why he just meows so much. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel you can find me on. Also, if you follow my Facebook group, Truck Stop Murder and True Crime, every time I put an episode up, if it be for Truck Stop Murder or Missing Miles, I post a link and pictures of it there. I also do an aerial view of the truck stop I talk about.
Nice.
So you can see what it looks like. And then there's different pictures about truck stop, different pictures of the case that I talk. Oh.
And I did just join that Facebook group. So it is I can attest, it is a very well put together and very research. You can tell you put a lot of research into what you do because you do post about that in your Facebook.
We do need communication on that. It's not very active right now. So please share, talk, tell me your journeys. I like to hear everybody else's where they travel at.
And do you, in your Facebook group, for anybody who's not familiar with it, if they do join that, do you take show recommendations if people have a case that they're
absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of my cases I did tuck that I got was a recommendation. It was up in Baltimore, Maryland, where these two guys ordered pizza, and they the one of my cases I did. They just killed a random pizza guy.
Oh,
I think it was in Baltimore.
That was the murder of Stephen Wells.
There's that cat. See him over there?
Oh, hold on.
What? What do you want? Okay.
So next time, Gary, you will have to let me know what times are available for your cats because clearly they are making it known that they are the star of the show here. And
we're just a side attraction.
You know what? Get your cats and my cats on the show. I think it will be my most watched episode ever because people will be here for our cats, not for us, but for the cats.
So we
Right.
got to do that when I come home, so I get the whole group involved. All my
Oh
cats.
my.
Pup, I could get Airy involved. I could get Monkey Bread. Well, his name is Monkey, but I don't know why I just call him Monkey Bread.
Yeah, so y'all, backstage before we started, Gary was telling me the names of his cats. Oh my gosh, they're all so freaking adorable.
Airy, Nezzy, Doodle, Puff. There's a bunch of them. And if y'all get lucky, maybe the raccoons will show up.
Oh my goodness.
That's my wife's channel, by the way, is Trash Eaters Anonymous. She gives raccoons all the different types of treats and stuff like that. So go join her YouTube.
Yes, everybody, please, definitely. And you know what? Again, thank you for bringing her up. Shout out again to your wife for the rescue work that she's doing with TNR for your community neighborhood cats. Somebody who does feline rescue work and has volunteers, like, I can't tell you how appreciative to find people on the front lines, like out of the goodness of their heart, just doing that work. It's so, honestly, give your wife the biggest hug from me.
I do that regardless. But it's rewarding too, because I mean, there's nothing better once a cat gets to love you and you feed them everything like that. They really show their appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my reward right there.
Absolutely. Oh, incredible. All right. Well, I don't have any other questions. You have answered everything I've had. Was there any other things, Gary, that we didn't touch upon that you want to mention to any of the viewers here?
I'm not for sure where your viewers are located at, but if you Google True Crime Podcast Festival, I have been there the last 4 years. I've been there in Dallas, Austin, Denver, and also right there in Boston. So if y'all want to come meet us, I'm going to go every year. As long as Lainey has it, I'm going to go there. So hopefully you go to LA next time and y'all could come actually meet us instead of doing the YouTube. You can actually come shake our hand.
Awesome.
Get some stickers and merch and everything like that.
Yeah. And thank you for letting me know as well that she decided on LA. I missed that last announcement on that last day. So awesome.
Now, now, I don't know if it's etched in stone yet, but at the final meeting, that's what she said. It's confirmed that we're going to go to LA.
No, if she said it, when she says the word confirmed, I take that. So yeah. They do have the True Crime Podcast Festival website and the Instagram page that they do that. People can follow it to see when she does post it, so that people will know where to go and find you in person and meet you and meet other great content creators too. We have a couple of comments there about, again, the work that you and your wife do. Wolf says, PJ says, I do TNR as well. So awesome. And Karen says, best wishes to you, Gary. Karen from Australia. So thank you so much, Gary, for joining me over here on Danny After Dark. It was great to connect with you at Danny, there's a face in your window. There's not a face in my window, James. It was great to connect with you and meet you in person at the True Crime Podcast Festival.
Nice to meet you.
And have you on here. So yes, thank you so much. And thank you everybody again who was here in the chat. And if people are watching it on replay, and if you have any questions or comments for Gary, leave them in the drop down below in the comments, and I will definitely pass those questions on to Gary.
Danny, that she needs to join me on my show. By the way, I don't know if you remember, my daughter's name is Danny.
That's right. You said that. Yes.
Yeah, my daughter's name is Danny, but it's DANNIE.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
well, I think the name is wonderful, but that's just me.
Tell everybody to join me on my show. But yeah, my kids are Danny, Dahlia, which you named after. That's how true crime's in our family. Dahlia, the Black Dahlia, and then David. Those are my kids.
Well, shout out to the kids. Absolutely shout out to y'all for having a really cool dad who does a great podcast. So
thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And in the meantime, remember, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.